Hey guys, we're quitting.
We're done.
It's over.
Finito. End of the road. Better
Yeah.
don't have your phone not muted.
That was not my phone. That was your phone.
Mute my phone. Dang it.
You want to get it? No, it's fine. We keep that. We keep it in. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, we're done. It's over. Bye bye. So, okay, well, we're not quitting forever because big reveal. Season 2 is ending.
Oh,
But
crazy.
the show's not over, folks. It just began. See, this is why I miss Nick because he can do a good Trump
Yeah,
impression.
the Trump impression.
But we're gonna be taking a little break, folks. Okay. We're taking a break. Season 3 is coming at some point in the future. We're working on a couple things behind the scenes,
Mhm.
so stay tuned. By the time you see this, things might be different, maybe not. We'll see. We're working on some stuff. We don't want to go too much.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming. There's been a lot of different things. Shout out to Adrian with his now 1,300 subs on YouTube.
Thank you.
You know, shout out to all the different artists who've been reaching out to get interviewed. You know, it's been awesome. There's been some really cool things, really cool developments in my personal music career and stuff like that. So it's been awesome. You guys may have noticed, like, hey, these guys 3 weeks ago that they dropped an episode, maybe 4 weeks by the time this comes out.
Like 5 weeks, yeah.
Maybe 5 weeks by the time this comes out, you know, but like things have been moving, but things are going well. Things are going very good. That's the beautiful thing. And yeah, there's been like some sickness in my house where we shoot. We've been haven't been able to really link up to get a consistent recording in the last couple weeks, but now we're here. And we're finally getting to the conclusion of season 2 of the Common Sense podcast.
Yeah, and it's been a fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like we've been able to cover a lot of different things. We had a wide variety of episodes, and a wide variety of topics. It's just been fun. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, and I know that it's been a cool dynamic to be sitting down with Adrian and to just see how everything moves. And so the future of Common Sense is bright. It's awesome. We're shout out to the 134 Instagram followers and the 65 YouTube subscribers.
I thought we're
Thank
at
you, guys.
67. I think
67 now?
we'll find out. I guess.
I think it's 65, but maybe by the time this comes out, it's at 100. Well, who
It'd be
knows?
funny.
That'd be awesome to
Yeah.
mess up our sub count, guys. You know, don't unsubscribe, but go help us out. Maybe we'll hook you up with some stickers. But yeah, it's been a fun ride, and we'll see how Common Sense continues to evolve and grow.
Yeah, that's basically it. Well, we still got a whole episode left, so let's figure it out. Okay, let's have some common sense today.
Yeah, and I know that my hope for the future of the pod is to have more guests on. I really want to start getting the there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm ready to come on. And it's been an interesting thing to juggle trying to get guests on and then doing all the other projects we've been doing. But I'm excited for all you who've been waiting.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then a couple things to address here, as you can see on screen. I don't have my mic stand because I like to hold it better. Because if you saw like the last few episodes, I've just been playing with the mic stand, left and right, and I don't have a problem with that. And I think this might be better. We'll see.
Yeah, it takes us back to the roots of how we started, pre-mic stands. And I've gotten so comfortable with the mic stand, I do not like carrying it like that. But it goes with it, you know. I'll carry it if I need to.
All right. Well, how you been, Peter? How's it going?
Man, life's good right now, man. The economy sucks. So I really want to get a haircut. I've been lagging with my barber, Jimmy. I love my barber. Jimmy, you're the best barber. And the IE, Fade Cave, the Fade Cave in Moreno Valley. You guys gotta come check that guy out. He is an incredible barber. Jimmy, just hit him up. Tell him Peter sent you. But it's just expensive to be getting a haircut every 2 weeks. That's literally, I'm not even gonna tell you how much I spend on a haircut. That's why my hair and my beard looks lined up on camera most of the time. You know, I'll spend my money on a haircut, but lately, nah. I'm choosing rent over a haircut every time.
That's fair. That's why he's Spider-Man today, guys.
This is why Spider-Man's making the appearance. Like I've been wanting to get the Spider-Man on. My nephews also have a Miles Morales one like this.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll throw you the Miles Morales if you want. But nah, Adrian looks great today. Got the pants on today.
Yeah.
He been saying he doesn't want to wear shorts on the pod.
Oh, because I don't know if we talked about it last time, but yeah, the freaking I was like all jumping around too because of the shorts. I didn't they were uncomfortable. I didn't like them, so I wear the pants.
You mentioned that off camera. You're like, dang, you didn't like what you were wearing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you look okay, man.
Well, I mean, I don't care about the style. I just cared like it just wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucked, but yeah. But no, we don't got Spider-Man, so we got Spooderman. Spooderman. That's you.
Spooderman. Yeah, this is Spooderman right here. This is the Spooderman hat right now.
You've seen that?
I love.
meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
He
good.
talks all.
Yeah.
I love Spooderman, bro.
Oh man. Okay. That's
We
fine.
need a stylist, bro. We need some stylists for all this, man. Who come in specifically like, oh, here's what you're gonna wear on the next pod. We need that, bro, so badly. I need that.
Yeah.
I need that for sure. Cause I come in here and I was looking for another jacket and I was like, man, I've worn every jacket on camera that I have already.
It's okay.
I got some other stuff, but everything I want to wear on camera, I've kind of worn already. So now it's like, okay, do I start recycling stuff?
We recycle, reuse, reduce.
That's good. See.
Yes.
See. You have two different ways of thinking, man. I'm caught up in like the Hollywood, like you shouldn't like there's a rule in Hollywood, right? Because Hollywood's so important. There's a rule that they don't wear the same shoes twice. They don't wear the same jacket twice on camera. They don't, and that's why we have such a wasteful wasteful culture in pop culture, because people refuse to wear the same jacket. Women refuse to wear the same dress. Like you have to, if you got a stain on it, you throw it out. Like, and so that's why I'm big on like camera etiquette, but I don't care. I don't care enough.
And then they make us drink from the paper straws. That's crazy. What a great thanks. I don't know. Whoever the richest guy in Hollywood is right now, but still.
Paper straws, that's so dumb. Yeah, there's some guys at my job who I offered them straws. I work at a restaurant, guys. I offered them some straws and they were like, "Oh, we don't do straws." I was like, "All right." I was just weirded out. I was like, "I've never heard that before, but okay." And then
Are they paper over there?
no, they're plastic straws.
Okay, that's different then. It'd be one thing if they're like, okay, they expect like paper straws to be given to them.
That could be it. That could be it. There's a whole thing about. Is there a thing going on right now?
Well, people don't like paper straws. That's it. And so it's like
I hate.
there's
the
like
idea of
memes
that.
about like, oh, my environmentalist inside me dying as I drink from the paper straw that's shriveling up in my drink. So like, if you just say like, okay, oh no, they're not paper straws, they'll be like, oh, okay, we'll take some then. I'll kill some turtles. Why not? the straw from Moreno Valley is gonna, make its way to the ocean. You know what I mean? Kill that one turtle.
Get someone. What do you think the death rate is for straws to turtles?
Well, I don't. Okay, well that's
A logical death. I don't think it'd be that as high as people think, but
I think it's an exaggeration of the overall like waste, going into the ocean. Yeah, so that's just one way to look at it. Because they find like the straws in the turtles' noses and stuff like that. That's a video.
yeah,
that video's
the
crazy.
little. I remember the rings. That was a
Yeah.
big thing in when I was a child, that they really hyperbolized, really made a big deal, was the way the six packs used to come
Yeah.
with the plastic
Plastic
container.
rings, yeah.
the plastic rings, and how they would all the commercials of them like choking baby turtles and
Well, I mean, they do get out to the ocean. They do choke.
right, yeah, I agree, we have too much waste. I agree 100%. We don't dispose of we have too much trash to dispose of, but I just wonder how much of it, like, I need a very accurate number of like death rate, because they're making us feel bad for something they're producing, it's
Well,
like,
true. That is true. Like,
we didn't ask for you to give it.
the waste is from the companies for sure. They're just putting the pressure on the people who are, like that's not how that works.
Exactly. It's like, so the dead turtles are on my conscience. Like,
Yeah.
you're the one giving me that. I didn't ask you to.
And it's not just the death too. It's like the ruining the environment as well, ruining the
Yeah.
water, which is crazy. I mean, the environment's important. Take care of God's green earth.
Yeah. Till it burns up. The grass of the fields burn up,
Yeah. Okay. So I've been playing games. Actually, no, I haven't. I mean, I've been playing. I've been uploading. There's this new game that I found. Called Smack Monkey, and it's like one of those games where it's like
I saw something. I saw that one of your thumbnails.
yeah,
The smack monkey right next to your face.
yeah. It's funny. Okay, so it's basically just like you're like a little monkey jumping up a mountain, and like the mechanic is like you just jump up, and if you mess up, you might fall all the way back down.
Mm.
Like one of those kind of games. You seen
Yeah,
those kind
yeah,
of games before? Yeah. So
Those games are
it's a rage game.
soul taking. Yeah, they absolutely destroy you from like an eternal place.
Yeah. But the thing is about Smack Monkey, it's a new game. No one is talking about it. And I think it's an amazing game. It's really high quality. It's really fun. No one's talking about it. No one's playing it. Barely anyone's playing it on Twitch right now. I'm capitalizing. I can say this now
Go
because
ahead.
this will be on like in 2-3 weeks, whatever. Not 3 weeks, but 2 weeks.
Come on, smack monkey community.
There's nobody, but I'm gonna be the first one.
Number one smack monkey streamer. Adrian.
I'm getting in. I'm getting in while it's low, and I'm gonna buy high. I'm gonna sell high. Get in while it's low. Get in early. Then when the popularity rises, I'm the first one. First one on the recommended page. That's gonna be it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. This game is crazy.
Smack monkey.
But it's fun though. It's really nice. It's really cool. I mean, the intro to that video is really funny too. You want? Check it out. Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
with it. I'll check it out. I saw the thumbnail. That was an interesting thumbnail.
Yeah.
You looked scared.
It's funny. I love making that face. There's some thumbnails that I have that like of just like me like screaming, and it's
Yeah.
just a funny face. I like the funny face thumbnails.
Yeah.
Always fun because then I have to like look up like because when I'm making the thumbnail too, it's like I'm just looking at myself screaming at myself on the screen.
I have to get used to it because seeing yourself scream like that is like a different thing. We're doing like a shoot for the thumbnails right now, and it's so surreal to like look at yourself in the camera. That's why I was getting like more intense because I could see myself. It was like how sad can I really display myself on camera? And then
Yeah.
Adrian was like, "That's too sad."
No, because you're like
and now I look like in pain. So like that's what's funny about the camera. For you guys who've never been in front of the camera, the weirdest thing is you have to like turn up your emotions to like the highest possible degree in order to emote it. That's why a lot of people seem like they don't have any like character, or they don't seem like they have any comedy. They don't seem like they're humorous. They don't seem like they have a lot of personality on camera. But it's because the camera like it's not real.
it's because I
not
learned this
real.
in theater. It's because when you're performing like that and you're like putting yourself out there for people's eyes, you need to think of it like you're in like a theater because not all people can see you in that theater. So you gotta make it big. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. No, that's cool. The actor's perspective. I really want more of that on Common Sense too. We need more of that actor's perspective on stuff.
Yeah,
Who's your favorite actor ever, dude?
that's interesting. I think top 5 would be like Jim Carrey, obviously.
Oh, that's a great one.
Jim Carrey.
That's in my top 5 for sure.
Who else is pretty good?
Will Smith.
Will Smith. I never really cared for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's cool, but I didn't like. I didn't have a strong connection with Will Smith.
Okay.
Will Ferrell,
He's an underrated actor actually.
because Elf is like one of my top.
That's
Christmas
a
movies, yeah.
very great movie. Yes, that's a great performance too.
Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell. It's like maybe like one more that like I like to watch. What's their name? What's his name? I'm forgetting. I don't know. Well, so who do you know?
My top 2 would probably be, well, number 1 is Daniel Day-Lewis. He's the guy who was the butcher in Gangs of New York, and that's still one of like the greatest roles I've ever seen from an actor. Still one of my favorite. And then number 2 would be Denzel, for sure. Denzel Washington. I love Denzel Washington. John Q made me cry. Remember the Titans made me cry. He is one of the best ones. Flight is such a good movie. If you haven't seen Flight, that's an underrated Denzel movie. Gladiator 2 was trash, but Denzel was incredible. So like he could act his way out of a paper bag, dude. He is amazing, really immersive actor. I like actors that pull you in. And Jim Carrey would be somewhere in my top 5 as well, because I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is one of my favorite movies ever.
Okay. I don't know who Denzel Washington is. What
From
movies has he been in?
dang.
Like
Never seen Training Day?
No.
I've never seen. Dang. Yeah, I mean I think this is a constant revelation we've had in season 2.
Yeah.
Is you don't watch anything.
I don't watch a lot of stuff because I also don't recognize names. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, I probably know the face.
The Equalizer.
No.
It's a really good movie.
Mhm.
Denzel. There's so many. You've never seen John Q?
No.
Man, those are some of his bangers too.
I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch animated movies though.
There's Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg.
Nope. I know Mark Wahlberg. He's cool.
Yeah, we know Mark
He's a
Wahlberg.
Christian.
Mark Wahlberg's underrated as an actor. He's just been in so many cheesy movies that like a movie like The Lovely Bones goes unrecognized, but that's an incredible movie. Flight Risk, he was dope in Flight Risk. I was sitting here watching it with my brother, and his fiance was like, "Oh, he's I don't like him in this movie. He's a weirdo in Flight Risk. He's a murderer, but he portrays it so well. So he's really good. Mark Wahlberg's underrated. Dang, Denzel, bro. Like, we got to get you on to some Denzel movies, man, because Denzel is a great actor. If you look at his movies as just an actor, you'll love him. You'll absolutely love him.
I think the guy that plays Michael Scott.
Oh, Steve Carell.
Steve Carell's kind of funny.
Steve Carell's an incredible actor.
Yeah, he is.
My favorite movie from him is Dan in Real Life. Dan in Real Life is it's a comedy, but it's a very realistic comedy. It's like for Will Ferrell. Have you seen the movie Stranger Than Fiction?
No.
See, so like those are their acting roles. Like they're Will Ferrell and Steve Carell are comedic actors, but
Yeah.
those are like their very serious roles.
Mm.
And Dan in Real Life is still a comedy, but it's if you watch the movie, you'll see like it pulls you into like this guy has it so rough. Like some people just have a life that kind of beats them down, you know.
Okay. That's cool.
Dan in Real Life is like that.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. Never seen that before.
Oh, I just gave you a whole list. Go back to this episode and watch Stranger Than Fiction, Dan in Real Life. You'll love those actors.
Alrighty. Let's go. All right, what's next? What do we got?
Man. So Drake.
So Drake.
Say Drake. Why are you suing so much, man? So I don't know if you've been keeping up, Adrian, with what's been happening in the rap world. But Drake got destroyed by Kendrick Lamar in a rap battle.
Oh, really? When?
Have you heard the song Not Like Us?
I have, yeah.
That whole song is about Drake
Okay.
being a PDF.
Yeah.
So, Drake, because he got wrecked so bad in that rap battle, he started a lawsuit.
Oh, really?
And he is in the state of Texas and in, I believe, Atlanta. Yeah, in Georgia, I think. He is taking his record label, Universal Music Group, to court.
Okay.
And he's actively suing them because Kendrick Lamar decimated him in a rap battle.
Wow.
He's saying it defamed him and it brought down the value of his it brought down his ability to make money.
Well, yeah, I think it actually kind of did though.
In a big
Because-
way it did.
Like, remember he was in Australia, and then I think he canceled his tour days because no one was buying tickets.
That's the controversial thing, is that they're saying that everything was sold out and he had to leave. But the only reason he had to cancel it, according to him, which you're right, it was because the tour wasn't selling the way he wanted it to. But he had to leave. That's all opinion based. Don't sue us, Drake. We're not doing this to defame you, Drake. We're just talking about what you've been doing. It's so hard to not defame someone who's suing because they lost the rap battle. But
Well, if you just talk about what they're doing and like talk about the facts, and it's like, if they say you're defaming them, it's like, no, you're just talking about what actually happened. Talk about like the reality of the situation.
Kendrick Lamar actually made a song
Yeah.
that just ruined your career.
That's the truth. Like
That's
that's
just
not
what I did.
defamation. It's like, I mean, calling it defamation is just like trying to silence the truth.
And it's been so funny because his lawyers, like when you look at the legal documents, the affidavits, they've had to recite Kendrick Lamar's lyrics of Not Like Us in court.
That's so funny.
like I would be cracking up in a courtroom if somebody had to go wop wop wop.
I don't think they gotta do that part. Wop 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 wop. It's like the lawyers. Your Honor, they don't like us.
Your Honor, they are not like us. He seems to have forgotten the R and is speaking improper English. But yeah, that's been something I've been tracking, dude, and it's crazy because in hip hop there's been a lot of beefs. And honestly, like what Kendrick Lamar is saying, because there's no proof, right? We'll just leave that up to the speculation. I have my beliefs on it, but for the sake of, like nobody's really brought any evidence of what they're saying, including what Drake said about Kendrick. That's what's funny about defamation is
Freezing up.
we are.
All right, we're back.
And we're back.
Sorry, our setup started to overheat, which is annoying because
Technical difficulties.
the first time these pieces have done that.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, the strange thing about doing this type of stuff is you have to roll with things like technical difficulties a lot. I know it's like a joke, like whenever you see it like on some of my favorite YouTubers, they like to have like the fake boop as like they messed up. But like that stuff really goes down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. If you want to be a podcaster, some advice I have for you is be prepared to deal with technical difficulties, regardless of the amount of money you spend on your equipment, regardless of how big your team is to do everything. Trust. Things go wrong. People fall through. You end up tongue-tied in situations where you don't think you'll ever be tongue-tied. Sometimes you're dehydrated. Sometimes you're sleepy. These things happen. So just be ready for all these errors to happen. And then faulty equipment. It hurt. It ruins everything.
Yeah. Some behind the scenes stuff. When we did the Cooley interview, I didn't have my battery for my camera. And then I went to go to the nearby Best Buy, to buy a battery. And the guy sells me the wrong battery. And we can't do they don't do returns on batteries. So I just have a battery that I can't use.
Type in the comments if you need a new battery for your camera.
Common sense battery.
But these are all the things that happen in the background, and you have to be like ready to deal with every single thing. And I'm with it. At this point, I don't even care when things go wrong. I'm just I'm just glad the episode's going good.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been so for those of you who don't know, I've been uploading like videos daily for the past 3-ish weeks at this point, which is something that I've been telling Peter about for a while now. Like I've been wanting to do that, and I've been doing it. It's been fun, and I've been getting numbers up, increasing my skill level in video editing. I've been doing little techniques here and there, playing around a bit more, and I've been really enjoying it. Bit of advice: if you're just starting out as a YouTuber or anything really, like anything creative, just start putting stuff out, even if it's garbage, because everyone starts at zero at some point.
Everybody.
Zero skill level, zero this, zero that.
The greatest at whatever you think. Michael Jordan couldn't shoot at one point.
Still can't. I'm just kidding.
You know, Ludwig at one point didn't know how to work his camera.
Yeah. He got fired from multiple jobs before he finally decided to go full time on streaming.
Yeah.
I know too much about Ludwig. I know too much.
He's been a guy we brought up in season 2 multiple times.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the Ludwig episode in season 3.
Imagine, that'd be so awesome. That's my dream episode right there. But yeah, like everyone, if you're ever doing anything creative, just keep going at it. You know, the more you do it, the more you stretch that muscle. The better you'll get at it. This whole 10,000 hours rule. It's not about hitting that mark. It's about putting the time in to get there.
Yeah.
So it's an important thing to do. So I've been putting that time in. I've been enjoying it. Even if the videos don't get the views that I want, it's like I still put out a good video that I'm happy to watch. That's one thing about it. As a recent is like for a while I didn't like want to rewatch my videos because I just didn't like them that much. But as a recent, the newer videos, like I've been like rewatching them. I'm like, this is a good video. So like I'm not worried about the numbers, because they're good videos. I'd watch them. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and it's crazy how fast I'm going. So I don't mean you're gonna say something, but
go ahead.
It's crazy how fast I've been able to like put out videos because Usually it'd be like, okay, it takes me like an hour to edit 10 minutes of video, whatever, or like 10 minutes to edit a same thing. No, 10 minutes to edit a single minute of video, right? And now I've been editing down like 3-4 hour videos, like 3-4 hour recordings into like 10-minute, 8-minute videos, which is insane in a single day.
But it just comes with getting the process down.
Yeah.
It comes with getting the process down. I know I discovered like a hack in the interface I use for Past Locks and Pure Music. I discovered a hack to make multiple videos out of one video. So like it speeds up the process of everything. And yeah, it comes with becoming a master. Doing this over and over again.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know that you said something earlier about like the views. You can't be worried about the views. There's a rapper named JPEG Mafia, super famous underground rapper, indie rapper, and he said that for like 10 years he only got like 50 views on his stuff, 50 listens, 50 plays for 10 years before he had music that finally cracked. You know, so like I think it's so interesting the way you have to put in the work, and it's not to expect people to look at it. But you have to be very artistic at one point before you can expect any type of monetization. Before you cannot get into this expecting to have 1 million views from your first episode, unless you got the funding like that, the backing like that,
The experience like that.
the experience. Unless you've gone through the failures of building an episode that's really good, but it only gets 2 views on it. You know?
Yeah. So we're gonna freeze this again. I'm just gonna lower the quality down.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. I don't know what's
I
going on.
don't know why this setup always does that, because this happens even in the interviews.
I think the difference is that because this is all the information is going through this. I don't do that on my PC. It goes straight into the
Oh, okay.
motherboard. So maybe it's like we get separate thingies for both of these things that go into like right here. So it just goes
Yeah.
straight into the camera.
Okay.
To Peter. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry. We're back.
Oh, we're good. I don't even worry about it. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Shout out to the homie Dusko of the A Toast to Life podcast. He gave me some advice that was very eye-opening about podcasting. And he said that it took him 2.5 years before he saw any money on this. Before he started making any sort of being able to monetize. And now A Toast to Life podcast is has a partnership with Ticketmaster. So like, guys, the work pays off, but you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And you got to do it for the love.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you got to do it for the love, whether you start out doing it. Because money isn't forever, you know? Even if we do get famous, man, even if we do get cracking, there's no say of how long you'll be making money off this, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's unsustainable if you're just trying to be a $1 million podcaster and be the next Mr. Beast or whatever.
Joe Rogan.
Be the next Joe Rogan. That's unsustainable, man.
Would you go on Joe Rogan?
Oh, dude, that's a dream to go on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, hit me up. Joe Rogan, come through here. I would love to be on Joe Rogan.
Have you seen all those memes where it's like there's one meme of like Miley Cyrus on Joe Rogan and she's like what are men like? I don't know if that was even Miley Cyrus. There's some blonde girl. It's like, what are men like? And cuts to Joe Rogan and he's like, bears. Just that. Have you seen that video? That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
There's one where a guy edits in like an alien teleporting into the other mic stand and then cuts to Joe Rogan just like I need to show that to you. That's funny.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber named Much Dank who he's taken a bunch of like the Joe Rogan interviews, and he edited the Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan one to make it look like Mike Tyson was about to attack Joe Rogan.
That's
It was amazing.
That's so
Joe
funny.
Rogan's all petrified and Mike Tyson sounds insane on it. It's really cool. So yeah, I love Joe Rogan, man. Joe Rogan podcast by day, train all day. Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
That's so funny, man.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Would you go on Joe Rogan podcast?
I guess so, maybe. I mean,
Me-
I've never watched a Joe Rogan episode. Like, what I know about him, I've seen clips on all the memes, right? But I've never, like, watched an episode. I think I would, probably, if I met him beforehand. I'd be like, yo, what's up?
You just got to find the right thing. His Robert Downey Jr. episode is really great.
Okay.
The one with Robert Downey Jr. is a great place, and you really get into the mind. The Kevin Hart episode's really great. He has a lot of UFC fighters, athletes, but he also gets a lot of like he's gotten paleontologists on the show. He's gotten somebody who was speaking out against the Church of Scientology
Mhm.
That was a really good episode because that guy really got in depth. Joe Rogan kind of seemed like over it by the end of the episode,
Mhm.
but it was really cool. The information that was I learned a lot about Scientology from that episode. So like
Interesting.
the Joe Rogan podcast could be brilliant at
Okay.
times. The Edward Snowden interview, so good.
Who's Edward Snowden?
Oh snap! We about to get demonetized before we monetize. He is a former CIA agent who is exiled from America at this point. He's literally exiled,
Wow.
and it's because he was speaking out against how the CIA was using cell phone towers, using social media, and using multiple forms of communication to track all Americans, everyone, even
Mhm.
people who aren't connected to terrorism, anybody. He blew the whistle on that. He's a famous whistleblower, is a way to put it.
Okay.
But he is Joe Rogan put him on the pod, and wherever I think he's in Russia somewhere. He's in Russia being for they're keeping him there for safety. And they talked all about what the CIA was doing, and he went into detail about it. So
Wow.
it's kind of what turned Joe Rogan into more the political podcast it is today.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most like that's one of the actual greatest things that we have on YouTube that people should go watch, and most Americans should be informed about who Edward Snowden is, because it's one of the biggest. It's one of the most world nation-changing things about why the CIA's lost a lot of credibility is because of Edward Snowden specifically.
Okay, that's crazy.
And Joe Rogan had him two times on his pod.
And it just cuts to Joe Rogan like,
Yeah, Joe Rogan's. It's when Joe Rogan was really good at asking questions and really good at like at getting more information that's relevant. Because he when he goes into an interview where he doesn't know anything, it's the best episodes he has, because he talks about, he asks the same questions that we would be asking somebody who's knowledgeable in something that we want to know more about. You know, so he's really good when his curiosity's piqued. But nowadays he's had so many like experts talk to him.
yeah.
I feel like he knows too much. Like it's that thing that comes with wisdom. Like, it's
I
like,
think-
what can you teach him?
And he's gotten older. He just doesn't care anymore. Like, I'm 58 years old. Like, I want to just retire at this point. Like, you know,
That could
like,
be it too.
at a certain point when you're that old, it's like I don't care. Like, none of this affect me. I'm gonna be dead in 20 years, bro. Like, what's gonna? Oh, the economy's crashing. I'm gonna be dead by that. Then I don't care.
That's a great way to look at it. That could be it. That could definitely be it.
How old is he? What is he?
He's like 58.
I got it. Yeah. So
Yeah, he's around 58.
cool. Yeah. That reminds me. Remember when we watched that one episode on the way back from Bumbacy? From Dorjenko.
Yeah, that was the Bumbacy. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Like,
Oh man.
it's about George Janko for a little bit because so on the way back from when we went to the Bumbacy interview, I don't know if that'll be out by the time this episode comes out.
Oh, it'll definitely be out. Yeah.
Okay, so we interviewed a guy named Bumbacy. We'll plug it. in
Shout out to the homie
description.
Alex Bumbacy.
It-
You're
it's-
a monster.
Funny guy, amazing time. But on the way back, we listened to a bit of a podcast from George Janko where he got a ton of Christian influencers.
Yeah.
And you know, people like Bryce Crawford. There was Girls Gone Bible was there. It was the Stuart and Cliff Kneckley.
Mm-hmm.
Kneckle.
Yeah, Cliff. Famous. You know Cliff if you're into like theologic podcasts and Christian
Apologetics.
podcasting, apologetics.
He's the old guy that like stands. He's the old guy that goes to college campuses and like talks to like college students
And
about
he
Christianity.
gives a lot of good insights about the Bible from the perspective, not just the theologian perspective, but from a life perspective. And he's made the term "I don't know" really popular amongst the theologians. It's something that before Cliff, nobody would admit that they don't know something, but Cliff has made it very popular to say, "Hey, I don't know. I need to learn more about that."
I think one of my things about him is the I don't know thing, because while it is good to like say you don't know, it's kind of dangerous because then it's also like, then what do you know? You know what I mean? Like
Not Cliff.
you keep asking questions and you keep answering I don't know. Like, okay, then what are you?
But Cliff doesn't really. He doesn't give you "I don't know" back to back to back.
Yeah, he does,
Cliff is a very credible source.
I think what I would say is like just be careful about how many I don't knows you throw out, because
I mean, you just gotta be honest. If you really don't know, you got it. That's why I love Cliff. Is he's just honest about when it comes to like I think with weed smoking, he's honest about it. With when it's come to marriage and things of like we would be married in heaven, he says, like he's very fair about like people's interpretations and not trampling on them. That's why Cliff's a star. That's why Cliff was on the Avengers. George Janko had to add Cliff
Yeah.
to that group. That was a great podcast.
It's one thing to have a ton of Christian influencers. It's another thing to have like an actual because he's the pastor, right? So
Yeah.
like he, having an actual pastor there to he barely even talked, which is crazy too. Which is I think he was just there to like rein the conversation in if he needed to. Have you seen Okay, so there's this there was an unaired George Janko episode. I haven't seen it, but like it was talked about. He was doing a guest episode with another Christian apologetic. It's the bald guy. Have you seen this guy? It's like a bald guy. I think he's Middle Eastern. He knows a lot. He debates with a lot of Muslims. And I forget his name.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that.
I'm gonna pull it up real quick. We're gonna pause. I want to show you. You're gonna recognize his face probably if you watch Christian apologetics. Bald Christian apologetics.
Who's the bald Christian apologist? The bald guy who's good with Christian apologetics.
Sam Shamoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sam Shamoon. There's an unaired episode of him and George Janko, and if you've seen Sam Shamoon's content, like he's very what is it, like bold and abrupt, like abrasive can be one thing, not like apologetic, I guess. Like he's not he's not gonna like
he doesn't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, he doesn't sugarcoat. And if you've seen George Janko kind of needs that sugar, you know what I mean? So like
yeah, and so that's why Cliff's great. That's why Sam, that guy wasn't invited into that. It's because he's very close-minded.
I don't think
not close-minded, but he's very shrewd.
To the point.
He's very shrewd in the way he communicates.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna go well when people are talking about feelings.
Especially with Christian influencers, yeah.
And all those influencers in there where they got very feelings based. It was really cool in the George Janko episode how like people I'm forgetting the name of the guy from God Bless Studios. The guy who runs
Ruslan.
Ruslan. Yeah, he was very honest about what he was going through. He had just lost somebody in his family.
Yeah.
And they just took a moment to pray for him in the middle of talking about theology and everything. They got very human. And that's the part of Christianity that I claim and I grasp onto. I love that because it's the family in the Bible that's preached, and that group really turned into a little family for that time. And that's what happens when you get a bunch of real believers together, and that's something that like that your arguments and your beliefs and your desire to get to the truth should be put to the side for a second.
I think that's where Jesus is God. Jesus his power and his love like transcends all that, and it's like, okay, let's help this guy who's grieving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's great.
Grieving is a necessary part of Christianity, and I think it's something that we're very far removed from when we get into the heat of the battle. When we get into the heat of for the guy Sam, what was the whole name?
Sam Shamoon.
For Sam Shamoon.
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 Shamoon. Shamoon. But with Sam Shamoon, if you've ever studied with Muslims, I've studied the Bible with Muslim people before and theologic talks, it gets intense because they low key, well, when you're talking to nicer people, honestly, a lot of Muslims try to just tell you you're wrong in every facet, in every step of the conversation. They try to whittle it down to the point where the Bible's just incorrect 100%. And they don't come down from it. They don't give an inch in and it's part of their belief system, right?
Yeah.
In Christianity, there's a form of spirituality in which you are understanding. You're no longer throwing your pearls to pigs.
Yeah.
You're not to say people are pigs. You're no longer wasting your breath. You're no longer badgering people. Bible thumping is not very Christian. Bible thumping is not the correct way to teach people. There's a form of spirituality. The pinnacle of the Holy Spirit will make you patient enough to teach anyone.
Yeah.
And it's because at some point you just got to listen. At some point you got to allow yourself to say, I don't know. At some point, you see that the best thing for somebody is for you to just, hey, let's just have a meal together.
Yeah.
That's the best way to win somebody, because that might change somebody's whole life. So when you're arguing, when you get into the argumentative state, a quarrel, which is what Paul would call it,
Yeah.
when you get into a lot of quarrels with Muslim people, it hardens your heart. It
Mhm.
makes you very stiff-necked in the
Yeah.
way you want to get the word out, and you
Yeah.
can't. You become very iron-fisted in the way you want to teach it, and you start attacking people with the scriptures, and that's not the right way to teach everybody. It's necessary at times when you have to protect, but you become in a defensive state, and that's anti-Christian in my opinion.
Yeah. I think with the episode with Sam Shamoon, because he talked about it, like he just posted a video and that it was just like him talking about like what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Sam was very like abrasive and abrupt, and because George Janko, he liked to go on a lot of tangents, but then Sam would like let's get back to the point, back to the point, and then George, at a certain point, like he just couldn't like articulate what he was trying to say just because like it was all emotions with George, from Sam's words.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I think his wife was on in the episode too, and like the cameraman is behind the camera, and that makes sense. The cameraman is behind the camera, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But, like, I mean,
you're the cameraman in front of the camera,
Yeah.
so that's why we're different.
I mean, because the cameraman usually is also in the episodes too, so like
Yeah.
he was behind the camera that time, and he said like like his wife and the cameraman were just like, kind of distraught because they had no words for like what Sam was like doing, which was simply just like directing him back into the scripture and giving out like certain things here and there, like I don't know, but it's really interesting. I think they'll do an episode at some point in the future again, because there was no bad blood, but like obviously
Yeah.
George couldn't handle it emotionally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's why I think George is awesome too. In the Avengers episode, that's
Yeah.
what they call it, right? That's what
The Avengers episode. Yeah.
In that episode of George Janko's pod, he said, "Oh, well, I'm a baby Christian." He admitted that in front of a bunch of like people who are like the most influential Christian podcasters. He humbled himself to be like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm the least here.
Mhm.
I'm the one who knows the least. I'm the one who needs to be taught the most here." And so that's when you have somebody like that, there's no need to badger that person, or to even have to be so direct with them to be like, no, that's wrong. Because if you just Cliff is really good with George. Cliff and George have a great chemistry because Cliff has all this knowledge and he's always able to redirect George back to the scripture. Where George, in that episode, George was like, maybe I'm too quick with my emotions, and George is correcting himself now, and now it makes for the best way to bring up a baby Christian, for the best way to study the Bible with people, is people start correcting themselves, and that's what the scripture does. Your opinion doesn't matter when people can teach themselves, because God's the one now interacting with them. Has nothing to do with you.
It's crazy. George also is getting flamed by Catholics for
I
some
get
of the
it.
things in the episode.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, he said a
Yeah.
lot of controversial stuff.
People are getting flamed. I think it's crazy because, for one, I think Christianity and Catholicism is like two very different religions. People like
Yeah.
say like like they're similar in terms of
Yeah, there's
God and
there's
theology.
whole bunch of scriptures on the Catholic side that Christians don't even pay attention to or know anything about.
So I think it's just it was funny seeing the amount of Catholic backlash he got for George pointing things out.
Well,
But yeah.
Catholics are very protective of the saints, very protective of, and for a Christian, they're like, saints, I am a saint. We are the saints, So like that's the encompassing thing of Christianity. Whereas in Catholicism, it's like, well, that's a saint, and this is our protector, and this is the angels, and they have a lot more. There's a lot more to study with them,
Yeah.
even to understand padres and priests and nuns, and there's
Yeah.
so much more on that side where Christians are very liberal in the way they talk about who's a deacon, who's a leader, and all that stuff's gonna rub Catholics the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. That's all I got for the George Janko stuff.
Yeah, that was a beautiful. Thank you for showing me that. That was very eye opening, and it's what helped me want to. It reminded me, I think in season 2 we got very entertainment focused, but if you've ever seen an episode of the Common Sense podcast, our mission statement is you find God when you find common sense. And so without mentioning God in an episode, which we did multiple times in season 2, it's like, well, how are we a Christian podcast if we're not even making it Christ-centered?
Yeah.
You know, so that's a reflection I've had from past episodes in this season, you know, where I just want to make sure that I am letting you guys know for a fact, even if you aren't a Christian, this is a Christian podcast. And I'm glad you're enjoying the Kathleen Kennedy stuff that we go on with Star Wars. I'm glad you're enjoying the entertainment aspects. Please interact. We'd love more comments. You can add your opinions. We'd love to hear your opinions. Shout out to the homie Brandon who corrected me on Lobo. I thought Lobo was a Marvel character. Turns out he's a DC character. So me, but you know, like, correct me. Help me out, guys. I need your information. The Common Sense family needs your input too. So in season 3, we're definitely going to have a lot more biblically
focused
content. You know, and there's going to be a lot of times where we get into the Bible directly, and we're going to really get into that so that, you know, hopefully for people who've never read the Bible, you can get some insight to it and have a very common sense perspective of the Bible instead of the hyperbolic nature that we can get and the opinions of other people when we haven't looked into the scripture. You know, so that's my hope moving forward with the Common Sense podcast is we can give you guys just a clear perspective of the Christian interpretation of the Bible.
Absolutely. Amen. That's what I'm excited about that too, to get more into the Bible. Talk about like more theology and stuff. Because there's like stuff that, like, you know, people don't know about, like the different kinds of hell, or like the different like the Gnostic Gospels, which are crazy because like there's so many freaking people out there, like teenagers, right, that like think they know like what they're talking about when they bring up the Gnostic Gospels. And it's like, oh, did you know that Jesus canonically had sex with his disciples? And it's like, bro, come on, dude. Tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking about. Because that's just crazy. You can say that he wasn't real, or you can say he's a fictional person, that he wasn't God. But when you're like when you're bringing stuff like that, it's like, okay, bro, it's just crazy.
And this is why canon matters in what we read. Yeah. This is why there's such a protective state in like we get into things that aren't like as important. I think the Bible's one of the most important things in my life. It changed my life. I started studying it at 22 years old, and I wish I had started studying it at 2 years old. For all of you who've joined us for this episode, this is the last episode of season 2. We want to thank you for being with Adrian and I on this journey. Shout out to the homie Nick. Please come through. We'd love to have you on some episodes from season 1. Shout out to the 65 YouTube subscribers, 67 according to Adrian. Shout out to the 134 Instagram followers, to our followers on TikTok as well. We are back on TikTok, so feel free to follow us on TikTok as well.
And that's it. I got nothing else. See you guys next time.
Much love. Clap it up.